Hi, good day everyone. Today I'll be discussing the hands-on demo with the use of what we call Java enums. Okay, when we're talking about the Java enums, it means it is a special Java type used to define the collections of constants. More precise, the Java enum type is a special kind of Java class and it can contain constants. Okay, when we're talking about commonly applied with the constants, methods, also in the abstract, we can also combine this with the constructor, iteration, with combination of if-else condition, the value of implementing interface, the enums set, map, the miscellaneous. There are many we can apply. One example that being applied here, like the size of a t-shirt, like small, medium, large, XL, you have a fixed constant value. And for the days of the week, it's also a fixed constant, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. This is an example of what we call Java enums. And with the use of Eclipse, I will show you how to create an enum. Later, I'll try to rewrite that in the replet. So for now, we will try to use first the Eclipse. Okay, so from here, first thing that I need to do, of course, where's my mouse? Okay, I'm going to create a project and I'll be calling this as enum samples. Alright, next, then finish. Okay, I will not create anything. I had already a name of my project with this enum. Now, next that I'll be creating is the package. I'll call this one as enum.exercises. Okay, corresponding. Okay, I'll be creating enum lecture. Okay, you cannot use just the word enum because that is a special keyword in Java. Okay, I'll just put here enum lecture that exercises. This is now my package name. Here, normally we're going to create a class, but in Eclipse, you can actually directly select this one. Let me check if you can, the enum instead of the class. But if you're using the repeal if, you may just create a class and name it. I mean, when you type the code, you have to include the word enum. So here in Eclipse, there is a special class where we can create the enum right away. Okay, let's create first with this one. Click on enum, and I'll be calling this as, let me say, level. Okay, this is the name of my enum, and then click on finish. As you can see here, we have here the special code enum. Now, what are the examples that we can create from here, like a constant? I can put hi. Okay, assuming I'm not going to put any value yet here. I'll start creating another class so you will know what is the purpose why we need to create an enum. Okay, this is actually another feature in Java where you can incorporate into your program. So I'll be creating again another class. I'll call this one as main. This is where the main program, then select the public static void main. So I don't need to type it again. So from here, I'll be printing the word, okay, assuming I'm going to create a program where I can display high, medium, or low. Example, if I want to create in constant, let me say, I'll be declaring first my enum like this. Level, referring to the class name. Then level is a variable name. Then another one is level is referring to the class. Okay, referring to this one. This is referring to another class. I try to call up this class into my main class. Same here, this one. Level, this is a class. Okay, let me just type here. Okay, where is that? This is a class. Okay, I'll just type here, class. Same as with this one, but the lowercase level, start with lowercase l, is an example of the variable name where you can put anything from here. Okay, now again, this is the class, and we just have to put here the equivalent of this one is hi. Okay, and supposed to be, I want to display the word hi. Now this hi is actually coming from the class level. Now since under my level class is still empty, then I had to put a value in here. So I got an error on the side. Hi cannot be resolved, or it is not a field. This is actually a declaration in my enum. Now going back here, I'll put here the value high, medium, then low. Okay, as you notice here, the color changes, so these are the constant variable. It's all in caps lock. Now going back here into our main, as you notice, this one has changed. It means we got no more error. Now what we want to do is try to display it. Example, I'll be displaying this. What's the value of hi? Let me say, I'll just put here Lendl.hi. Let's see if this one works. Now let's try to run the program. Hi, it says hi. So you try to call the value of level, referring to this one. Okay, level, and we display this. And if you're going to put here low, of course you have, when you will not change this, let me say I'll try to run. See, still display the high because you only call up the value low. Is it possible if I'm going to hide this one? Let me say I'll just put here medium. We're not getting an error of this because the word level is actually coming from another class. We try to call it, and this is under the enum. The enum, we had the high, medium, and okay. So if we print this, we get this output. Now assuming we're going to put a, what we call this one, a value. That's also a possible. Let me say here in the level, I'm in high, I can put, let me say 4. This one is 3. And this one is 2. So for this, since you are putting a value, you need to actually also add. And you're putting here a value, it means you need to create a method. But before we're going to apply this, I will show you first the combination of if-else. Okay, we'll just get back into this option using the if-else condition. Okay, before I add this one later. Okay, I'll erase this one first. We will apply first the if else condition in here, assuming I'll be declaring this slow. Now we will be adding a if else condition. Let me say if I'll just copy this part. If we're going to put it in our condition sample low, then I can put here, and it should say, I can display it anyway, should be low. Okay, let's say medium, the level is equals to level, then I think I forgot to add another. Okay, if, then we have to add if the level, this should be a lowercase. We have to remove this one. It's like we're putting this condition if the level, okay, is equals to low, then it will display the low. Alright, now assuming I can just put this way, then add another condition, else if, then the condition again, I'll just copy this, and then I'm going to add here, so this should be medium now. Then I'll just copy this option, then replace this with medium. Okay, then another else if, then I'll just copy this condition, and I'll be replacing this with high. Then open close. I'll be copying this one and display high. Okay, so assuming this is our value low, we declare this way, and obviously if we're just looking at the code, it will print the low level. So when you try to run it, you get the output low. Now if I will replace this with medium, try to call up the medium in our enumeration, enum, it will say medium. How about if high? Okay, let's try to run again. It's a high. You can also replace this with another value. It is a medium or it is high. Okay, this code try to compare the level variable against each of the possible enum constants in the level enum. Okay, for this one. Okay, if one of the enum values occur more often than the others, that checking for that value in the first if statement, this one, the first if statement, will result in better performance as less comparison on the average as executed. So there's no big difference though, unless the comparisons are executed a lot. You can also apply if else switch statement for this one. So if you will apply the switch, it would be just like this. Okay, when you type the code, I'll just put here. I'll try to hide this one. So when you're using the switch, it will just the same. You have to declare from here, then you can start right away with your switch, then put here level, referring to this one, the level, and followed by open close parenthesis. Okay, like that. Oops, sorry. Now, so from here, you have to start with the case, then high, colon. So you're going to put your condition here. Example, sys out, then it is high. Then you can add another case like medium. Then I'll just copy this option. It is medium. Okay, another one which is case low, colon, oops, colon, then face, but it is low. Then you can say here the default system, not in the option, not in the option. Okay, something like this. Okay, so you just have to, you can also add break every time that you ends one, another break. It's up to you how you're going to design it with your code. Every time that you will add here, then break. Okay, so for now you will get an error of this because we're not yet done. This is just a snippet of the code. As you notice, what's exactly the error. Complete the method. Okay, we haven't completed yet because we had here 1, 2. So therefore, how many? 1. Okay, there you are. And if you will try to run this one, it is high. Selected here, it's high because with it to high, and if we change this value to low, obviously it will go directly to low, then low. Okay, there you are. So that's another way to call up the value. Now, how about if you're going to apply a value into your code? Okay, let's say I'm going to create the enum fields from here. In our level, we're going to add a value in here. Let me say this is, okay, 3, and I'm going to put here 2, and then 1. So what happened if I'm going to call up the high, instead the word high will be displayed, instead the number 3 will be displayed, or number 2. This is what we call trying to constructor with value 3. And this is, we're trying to call the constructor with value 2, and this one with value 1. But for this case, we need to put a semicolon. The semicolon here needed when fields were in the methods follow. So we need to add the semicolon. Add the semicolon. It is needed when fields or methods follow. Okay, what does it mean? So from here, I'm going to add another method. We call this one as private. Then final int. Then we're going to create another variable called level code. So we're trying to create a method here. And this is only accessible within in here, the private. Now we will add again private If you can't recall what does it mean by private, so you watch and review again the video related to access modifiers, okay? So here, I'll be calling up the level referring to this one, level, and assigning the int because we want to display the number instead of the word high, medium, or low. So int, then the level code, the value of this one. Now, so inside here, we use this method, this current object referring to the level code, this one, which is equivalent to level code. Now, so we're done with this one. We created enum field. So it means what we are doing here, we add fields to Java enum. Its constants enum value, this one, gets these fields, and the field values must be supplied to the constructor of the enum when defining the constant. So right now, if you want to display, okay, later, okay, let me, now we're going to add a method to our Java. So first we created this, then this one, okay, instead of having this, we just simply put here the level. So this is the method, level int level code, then open close braces, and instead of adding this private, I'll just remove this and transfer here. Now I'll be removing this private. Instead, I'll be replacing this with public int. Now we put here get level code, then open close parentheses. Inside here, we return this level code. Means we're going to get the value of this particular code. Let's try to review level code. Okay, we're getting an error on this side. It's in, okay, sorry, I forgot the semicolon. Okay, so what we did, we added a method using this format, and we also applied this command referring to this object, the level code. Okay, this one. And what does it contain? It will try to get the value in our level, which is referring to this one. And what does it contain? High, and the value is 3, medium, and the value is 2, and low is 1. Now, the next thing that we're going to do here in our main program, instead of, displaying this word, we will just retain this one. Okay, I will just replace the value in the parent option. So in here, I'll call up the word, okay, the level, referring to this one, trying to call our class level, referring to our class level. So we will call this, so level, in here, inside, put it here, level, then dot get, okay, this one, get level code. Now if your value is high, okay, I will put here high in our declaration. Instead of displaying the word high, it will now display the value because of this get level code. Where does it come from? Then we try to call from our constructor level, referring to here, get level code, this, and what's the value coming from this level class, and what does it contain? This one. Okay, if you're going to run this program, you get the number 3. So same here, we're just going to replace this with this one. And okay, I'm going to replace it. As you notice, I had a uniform value in here. I can only change this one to low example. Now click run. You get the valued one. So I'm going to replace the value here. Let me say this is 180 and this one is 150 example, and this one is 140. Now I don't need to replace the whole code in here. Instead, I can only replace here value. Okay, now let's try to run again. So you got a 140. This is actually good when you try to develop a program where you had a fixed value, a constant, I mean, like this one. So you just need to apply combination of constructor, the method, but this time we use the method called enum. Okay. So here, what happened, why we get this output 140? Because we try to call up this one, the low, which in our declaration low, although you can also ask the user to enter value, but in this case, we had a fixed value. You can also apply in the if else condition. The same applies. Okay, let me say I'll be hiding this just for you to be able to see how it looks like using the if else condition. Okay, I'll be hiding this one, but I'll copy this instead and put it here. Okay, I'll be removing now the comment out. I'll be putting it here. Okay, like this. In the print out, same here. Print out. Okay, print out. Now let's try to run the program, assuming I'm going to replace this with medium. Alright, let's try to run again. Okay, there you are, 150. What is the 150? Going back here, medium. Okay, so what happened here? The code print out the value 150, which is the value of the level code field for the enum constant called medium. Okay, this is our constant, and the name of our constant is medium, and we display the value instead. So you are not restricted to simple getter and setter methods for if you're going to use the enum. You can also create methods that make calculations based on the value or field values of the enum constants. If your fields are not declared final, okay, you can even modify the values of the fields, although they may, it's not a good idea considering that the enums are supposed to be constant. So you have to take note of that one. Another method where we can apply with the enum. This time, we're going to apply the Java lang enum, specifically the use of value of method. Okay, this method returns the enum constant of the specified enum type with a specified name. The name must match exactly the identifier being used to declare an enum constant in this type. Now, if you're going to declare this, it should start by typing in the public static, then the t extend enum, then this format. I'm going to type here again the t, then the t value of, then the class, then t, the enum type, and the string name. So the enum type here, this is the class object of the enum type from which to return a constant. And the name, this is the name of the constant to return. Now, when we're talking about the return value, this method returns the enum constant of the specified enum type with the specified name. There's also a what we call exception. One is the illegal argument exception, and number two is the null pointer exception. When we're talking about the legal argument exception, this is about if the specified enum type has no constant with the specified name, or the specified class object does not represent an enum type. However, the use of null pointer exception if enum type or name is a null. I'll show you an example with the application of java.lang.enum.value of open close parenthesis method. Okay, let's start now with our example. I'm going to create first another package. So right click here. If you're using the Eclipse, it's a good practice to apply a package so it would be easy for you to find your project. Okay, I'm going to create a package and I'll be calling this as a value of. This is about the, what you call this one? Okay, we will be applying the value of method using the enum. Okay, enum using the value of method exercise. Okay, let's finish off this one. Now I'm going to create again an enum. You also had the option to put your enum inside the same class, assuming I'm going to create a class called enum demo. Okay, right click on this one, then instead of using this, you can also put into one file in the class. So I'll be creating a class, and the name of this class is actually enum demo exam. Okay, let me put this one so I don't need to type that one from the very beginning. I think we have here not ready. Go just a little bit. Okay, I'll be deleting this option. Now on top of this one, we're going to add, since we'll be using an object for this, we will import java.lang, then followed by an asterisk. Okay, so like that, and then semicolon. Okay, now in here I'll just put a comment out here. We're going to use an enum that will display the prices. Let me say, what would be TV. Okay, we're going to use the TV. All right, let me say I'll put here showing the TV prices for my enum. So I'll put here enum. As you notice, the color changes to purple. Then I'm going to apply here TV. Okay. Then from here, open close parenthesis. Okay, inside this enum, we're going to enumerate the different kinds of TD. Example, I'll be adding here the Sony. Okay, let me say Sony. Then this is around 15,000, assuming this is on 15,000. Then another one is the Extreme, and this is around 13 or 13,000 exceeded. Okay, and another brand is Samsung. Okay, Samsung, assuming this is around 12,000. Then semicolon. So for now, we have here the Sony. Okay. Then we're going to also put here the price. So from here, I'll be adding, we're going to declare the int, or you can also use the double or the float. For now, we'll use the int, but let's try. Price, then followed by the TV, referring to their class enum, which is TD, open close parentheses, followed by int. Then assuming we're going to assign this to letter P, representing the price. So open close, we represent the price as P. Okay, there you are. So we didn't get any error anymore here because we already applied for the pricing. So next thing that we're going to add another int. We're going to create a method show price. Okay, this will be our method, open close braces, and inside of this we're going to display the price. Okay, now I think we're done. Next, we're going to add in our main. Okay, here inside our main method, we're going to call up the TV. All right, now this time I'll start off first with this one, sys out. Then inside here, I'll be saying television list. Okay, and then colon. Then I'll be applying also the method of use for. So the for, we're going to call the TV. Then we will assign it to letter M, T. Okay, I'll just use T representing the TV, colon, then TV dot values, open close parenthesis. So from here we need to close up. Open close parenthesis, braces. Here's just out again. We will be displaying, we're going to call letter T, calling it the value of TV, then plus, then the cost. I'll put here cost. We need to add spacing, under plus we're going to concatenate again T that show price of the TV, open close parenthesis, then add again. We're going to add the value. Example, in peso. I'll add here pesos. Okay, we have to add a space in here. Okay, now I think we're done. Next is below here. I just need to finish up this. We're going to call again the TV class. Ret. This is only variable name. Ret, it's like return. Then we put here ret TV dot value of, referring, we can have the example here. Let me say Sony. Okay, what's the value of Sony? It's like what's the cost of the TV. Okay, now followed by, make it the shortcut. I put here selected, the word selected, and then I'll call up concatenated with the ret, referring to the Sony. Now, okay, so here we're going to display the list of TV including the price. Then on the last part, I'll be displaying also which one I selected, which is Sony. Okay, so if you're going to run this code, okay, there you are. Television list, we had the Sony. Oops, what's that? Cops. Sorry, this is with the S. Okay, sorry, wrong spelling. There should be letter O. Okay, again, let's try to compile it. Okay, there you are. So if you want to replace this with a bigger, okay, assuming I'm going to put this one, television list, price list. Okay, price list. There you are. Television price list. Sony cost 15,000 pesos. The Extreme cost 13,000 pesos. Then the Samsung cost 12,000 pesos. And I selected the Sony brand because I like the Sony. So here the word RET is just a variable name where you want to create, and you have to integrate the value of method for you to select a particular product or item. And here we applied the for, that is to list down the items, which is trying to call out the TV, what are the available TV that we have. This one, try to call up, and then in here we created the format, so TV and the T values referring to the amount in here. Okay, so and we are showing the price as well, which is referring to this. And what if we're going to apply with the float? What will happen? Okay, let's see. So if you're going to apply a float, so there should be a float as well, and this one should be float as well. Okay, what else? Now let's try to run this first, because there is a still the same, but we want to include the decimal point for this one if you apply the float. Now you can also apply the formatting for this. Okay, I think that's it for this example with the use of value of. Okay, let's have another example. This time we're going to combine a enumeration, like adding number into a list into our enum. Okay, let's start. I'm going to create another class. Same process, I'll just put everything into one class. I'm going to put this one as enum demo 2. Okay, then public, start off again from the beginning. Alright, now on top of my code, I'll be creating an enum list. I'll call this parts of the body, anything. Alright, so let's say skin, bones, muscles, nose, organs, and then I'm going to add another one, which is shoes. Okay, so what is the relationship of shoes for this? Well, I'll show you later. Why do I need to use the shoes in here? Alright, so from here, I have my enumeration on top. Now, in my main method, I'll be adding here like a question, just like a short sys out. Okay, from here, the which part, what they say, which part, let me say, which part is included in the human body, except, okay, so there should be a what we call except what, so which is obviously the shoes. Now from here, I'll be combining with the command of for, then I'll call up the enum class, which is the parts. I put here inside my for parts, then I'll create in a variable name called part, colon, and then call again the parts, then we will apply the values referring to the values in our parts, then close. Okay, now curly braces, open close curly braces. Here I'll be adding an iteration, so assuming I'll put here into I, cut to part dot, we will apply now the ordinal. So what is this? What is the ordinal? The ordinal returns, the ordinal of this enumeration constant, it position the enum declaration where the initial constant is assigned an ordinal of 0. So mostly of the programmers will have no use of this method. However, it is designed for use by what they call this one, enum-based data structures such as Java util, enum set, and enum map. So just in case you will encounter this, at least you will be able to explain what's the meaning of this. Then you have to open close parentheses, then plus 1. So why do we need to add plus 1? So we can enumerate the number 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 actually. Now if we want to display this, of course, we're going to call at the value. So here I, referring to this one, the enumeration from 1 to 6, then concatenated, then see here there should be spacing in between, then concatenate again or add or call up the part, value of the part, which is referring to this one. Now if we're going to add again here below, parts equal to part equals to parts value of, okay, this time we will be applying the value of I'll put here inside example shoes, semicolon. Then after this, I can add another one, just out. So I can say, what will be the answer? New line. Okay, answer. And I'm going to call out the value part. Okay. I think we're done with our code. So let's try to double check. First, we created the list of parts and we included one that is not supposed to be included because we're going to create a question here. Which part is included in the human body except what? And the answer for this obviously is the shoes. Now let's try to run this one. Okay, there you are. You get now the output. Okay, here is the result. Which part is included the human body except what? All of that are actually included except the shoes. So the answer is shoes. Okay. I hope you understand now how to use the enum. You can separate that into another class or you can just put it into one code. That's all for this example. Try to explore on this one. Okay.